Really gonna record us eating.
Yes, we're gonna record while we're eating. Is that a problem?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I'm fat.
You're not fat. You had a baby.
Well, let me tell you, I was hot before I had this baby. Hot, I'd
You're
say.
still hot. You're smoking. I like my chocolate.
Back up off me.
You're like an Easter bunny. Chocolate.
Oh my god.
Bite your head off first.
You're so freaking actually crazy.
So, you want to share how we met?
While I'm eating?
Yeah, while we're
Oh
eating.
my god.
Do you want to start or should I start?
You can start and I'll finish because my part is the better part.
No, okay, you think so. So.
I know so.
So I was down in Florida for 5 years, going through school. I was going to school for fashion design, and I was down there for 4.5 years. And the company that I was working with, I ended up coming up to New York City and transferring. So it took me some time to get the transfer done up in Manhattan, but I eventually got here. And I was working there for 5 years, and then afterwards I did another transfer. And when I walked into the company, I met everybody, including Danielle. First day was good. The second day I walked in, everybody was chill, we were all talking. But this one here, she was off in the corner. She just stayed off to the side, not talkative. I was like, what's wrong with this girl? I was like, how come she kept to herself, And
I did not keep, look, yeah, let's tell the truth. Look, no.
Let me finish.
Look.
Finish my story. It's not even a story, it's reality.
No, let me tell you.
Listen, I walked into the company. Yes, hey, listen.
I didn't keep to myself. I talked to everybody. If you ask anybody, I was the most outgoing person there.
No,
I talked to everybody. I was like, I didn't care. If you were the janitor, I would talk to you. I didn't care. I knew we were getting somebody new in the building. I was fine with that because we had to replace somebody else. So I was like, okay. I'd heard about him. Or a couple of the other coworkers I'd worked with had worked with him before. They're like, oh, he's cool, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay. Talked to him a few times on the phone, just for, typical business stuff. So I was like, he seemed very pleasant and very cool. I didn't know what he looked like, any of that, blah, blah, blah. So when he came in, I was like,
tall, dark, and handsome. They're going to pay him. Which I had no clue because, again, she kept to herself.
He's really good looking, and he's super hot. And I was like, OMG. I kept to myself because I was like, I didn't know what to say. I get very shy. Believe it or not, this mouth does stop moving. But I got very shy, and I didn't know what to say to him. So I would just literally say one word answers, or I'd keep it very, very business and very professional. So time goes on, whatever. I just kind of put it to, it was just a crush. It was a work crush, whatever. And I let a couple of my coworkers know, which unfortunately are girls. And we know how girls are. So they're like, ew, you and Brad, you guys are going to get together. I'm like, no, it's not going to happen. I go off in my own little world. I'm dating. I do my thing. Because I'm like, it's a work crush. Nothing's going to happen. And he, I don't know, we ended up talking about something about dating somehow. And he said something about how he liked, Indian girls. So I was like, oh, okay, well, that counts me out of the equation. Yeah. So he's never going to look at me.
That's pretty much who I dated.
And I was like, okay. All right, it's like, so work crush, just keep it as a work crush. I'm just going to admire him from far. And I was dating somebody. And what happened, what happened was I was dating this person, and we had a very deep, intense conversation. I'd only been dating him for 2 weeks, but he's an older guy. And I kind of asked him, I'm at the age where I'm like, okay, let me figure out where your head is. I'm in my 30s, and there's no time for me to play games. I'm very straightforward. He told me what his expectations were, where he was in life, and I was like, this is not what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for in life. Why play games? You go your way, I'll go mine. So we did that, and he ended up going back to Pennsylvania for something. And I don't know why we started a conversation, but I think it was just our mutual backgrounds, like our upbringings. We started talking about that. I was like, oh, have a great time when you're home. He was texting me when he was back home. I don't even know how this conversation came about.
I don't even know how that conversation even came about.
But it just happened. I was like,
it's just one of those things that just happened.
I was like, this is kind of cute. I was like, okay, whatever.
It's very casual.
It was very casual. It was still on the friend tip.
Yeah.
And then he ended up hurting his back. And
that's right.
I was like, oh my God. I was really concerned. I was like, they were like, he threw his back out. He's going to be, I was like, oh my gosh, that's very serious, your back. So I started texting him, and in the process of me texting him, I was like, are you going to the doctor? What are you going to do? Blah, blah, blah. Part of me was like, coworker Danielle wanted to know what was going on. And part of me was like, oh, let me make sure you're okay. And someone's taking care of you. And if not, I'll come over there and we'll be back. So he's like, oh, no, I'm totally fine. He was like, I'm going to, stretch it out. I do meditation, da-da-da-da. We kind of had a conversation about that. And then
I think that's where it all started with the meditation thing.
Yeah.
So you believe us, I think that's where it
started.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow. I was like, okay. I was like, I didn't expect that. It was like pretty face and like spiritual. Appreciate that. I was like, he could be the perfect package, but he doesn't even know that I like him, and he doesn't even know I exist.
Again, I'm so oblivious when girls.
Totally oblivious, clearly.
Wow.
So then he was like, oh, I'm gonna take a soak in like my jacuzzi, and I was like, wait, what? It's like, okay. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I have a jacuzzi. I'm like, okay. In New York City, to have
it's very rare that you have a jacuzzi, let alone a dishwasher.
And a dishwasher. I mean, if he had said that
the jacuzzi sold it.
Yeah.
So
well,
she's
not
like,
really.
Yeah,
but I
right.
was like, wow. It was like, okay. So then after that, he came back to work, and we had a couple of deep conversations on the spiritual tip. And then we started having conversations, joke back and forth about, oh, you should come over to my jacuzzi, blah, 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 blah. Oh, you can use it any time. And I was like, okay, he's very genuine. I thought, like, okay, like, for sure, he's going to let me use his jacuzzi, like, whenever I kind of want. I was like, that's kind of cool, even as a friend. Like, cool. I don't know. We had some conversation. We kept going back and forth. And then, after maybe, like, a month and a half of us, like, having, like, very deep spiritual conversations, conversations about our life, just the world in general. We're very like-minded, and I was like, oh, okay. One of my coworkers, who shall remain nameless, but her name starts with a K, happened to say something to him
just
about me
conversation
having a
that
crush,
we had.
and he was like, wait, what? And I'm like, she's like, yeah. Like,
no, she approached me first, and she's like, so Danielle says that you have a jacuzzi. I was like, where's this conversation going?
And then she was like, you should take her in it. And he's like, what? And she's like, she has a massive crush on you. He's like, Danielle, really? Like, no. And I don't know, after that, we had a couple of more conversations and
deep conversation. It wasn't like very casual.
It was very casual. Yeah. Like, we would get to work at the same time, and we would just have this, like, downtime where it was like nobody else in the building. We'd have these deep, impactful conversations where it wasn't like, I hate to say the job we were at sometimes gets a little superficial, so it was nice to have something that was just real, and it felt very refreshing. And at this point, I wasn't really looking for anything. I kind of knew his story.
We both were looking for anybody.
I don't mind. Do you mind if I say he hadn't been with anybody for like 3 years.
No, I was abstinent for 3 years.
Yeah,
and that can be another story.
Yeah,
but
and I was kind of like, I wasn't looking. I was very like, I was like, if I date, I date. If I find someone like-minded, my whole thing was like, let me find someone who could be my Kurt Russell to my Goldie Hawn. Like, let me just find someone I can have a long-lasting, impactful relationship. Not like, I wasn't looking for like clearly my soulmate. So, anyways, we had a conversation about something, and he was like, I was like, oh, and through text I said, oh, I'm gonna break into your apartment. He goes, well, maybe we can manage it without you breaking into the apartment. And then he asked me on a first date, but he didn't know it was a first date, but it was first date. And then
that's a cute story. So to add into that, so knowing that she knows that I have a jacuzzi, so it was very innocent, but I wasn't even thinking you know, that I would persuade her to come over, but when I would, no, I wasn't. I was in the jacuzzi, and I was like, you know, it'd be cool. She knows that I have a jacuzzi, but I like subtle, relaxing, you know, nights. So I jump in the jacuzzi, dark, candle lit. I had my wine. I ended up taking a picture, not of myself,
not of like,
not,
okay, so
not sexual. It wasn't like that.
He didn't send me a D-pic, guys. He didn't send me.
It was like a bubble romantic.
It was literally, we were in the middle of a conversation. He was like, unwinding after a long day, and I'm like, and it was like, literally when he texted me, I was at my apartment in my bathtub.
All I was seeking is jealousy.
Like,
that's all I was seeking. I wasn't seeking like,
that's
oh,
weird.
this guy wants me.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't even like that.
But I kind of was like, oh, I was like, all right. I was like, okay. I was like, it was very harmless flirtation at this point. It was like a little flirty, blah, blah, blah. I could get him red when, you know, I said certain things at work. I'd be like, ooh, red. And he'd be like, ooh, you turn all red. But anyway, so he asked me on our first date, he asked me over, and he was like, let's grab some wine, and we'll just talk. And I'm like, all right. And then he proceeds to tell me he has no furniture.
I had one piece
wait,
of...
what? And he's
it's a bachelor pad. It's New York City.
He's like, I don't really spend a lot of time, and he was like, I designed in my living room, and he's like, so I don't really have furniture there. I'm like, okay. I was like, that's fine. I was like, that's fine. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, he goes, so we'll just have to like, you know, he's like, just letting you know, like, we'll
work.
I don't have it like a couch, but we can like hang out. And I was like, okay, well, I was like, as long as you have like some like nice pillows and da da da.
Okay,
like,
so let me talk.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me just say, like, I'll stop her there. So, knowing that I don't have any furniture in my room, so I go up to Marshall's, and I buy pillows. So I went to go.
Funny.
Uh-huh.
I think this is funny. In the middle of us saying this, our son's over there taking a massive poop in the corner. Like, literally, I can see him turning red. Look at him, grabbing his toy.
What are you doing there, Laya?
He's taking a massive poop. He's taking a poop. Yep. That's the face of someone who's just dropped a very healthy poop.
Yeah?
Yep. Hi.
There's a Laya. You say hi? You want to say hi to the Swirl family? Yeah, buddy.
Hi.
He's ready to walk. 8 months old and like...
into everything.
Everything. Wanting to walk. You want to say hi to the Swirl family?
Say hi.
You want to say hi?
Hi.
Hi.
Say hi, Elijah. He's learning how to wave, so we're trying to induce him into doing it. Elijah, hi. Hi.
Okay, you can say bye.
Hi. Say bye.
Bye, Swirl family.
Bye-bye.
There he goes. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, so I go up to Marshall's and end up getting up, you know, finding 2 pillows, a blanket. So I put it down on the floor, being romantic. I had the candles lit.
He knew he was at least gonna make out that night. That's for sure. He's like, no.
That's his.
I'm like, yeah.
That's everything that she was hoping to get.
Well, yeah.
She wasn't gonna get anything else. She wasn't gonna get any.
Well, I knew he was celibate, so I was prepared to play by that rule, and I was like, that's fine. I was like, that's not on my list of things that make or break a relationship. So I came over. We had like 2.5 bottles of wine, and we really, honestly, we talked about everything from family to religion to politics to how we kind of arrived at the people that we are now, what we see for ourselves in the future, and the rest is kind of history.
Yeah, it's definitely history. But most of our deep conversations are in the jacuzzi now. So, on that note, hope you guys enjoyed us.
How we met.
And how we met.
That's it.
Sorry. Now she got me.
Now I'm stuck with him for life.
Yeah. Couldn't ask for anything better. My queen.
My king. Swirl unit. And that's the end result.
See Sinclair down there looking. Aww.